for Chase Dowling.
This driver always does well when he comes back to his home state of Connecticut. In car number 34, he's from Portland, in the Warner Turf Equipment car, Dave Etheridge.
Then this gentleman, keep your eyes on him. He was very quick in practice, the Jensen Motorsports car. John Jensen owns the automobile for the talented Stephen Kopsick with car number 179.
And then it will be car number 58 in the GAF roofing car from Riverhead, Eric Goodale. And if he can pass cars, he has a good shot to start on the pole. We'll see how well he does.
The first green of the evening is about to be waved as they head off turn number 4. Plus or minus system now into effect. The inside lane looks racy as they double up down into turn 1. But at the point, it is Lutz. But moving to the outside, here comes Chase Dowling with car number 9. Does a crossover down underneath the Gallup machine. Will it stick, Matt, as they come off turn 4?
Boy, it looks like he has suction cups for tires as he is able to move into third. Gallup is behind him. Lutz is the leader. Keith Rocco in second. Remember, here is the 79 of Kopsick. He moves into the top 5, and Goodale is still at the rear of the field.
They rumble off turn number 4. It's Lutz still the leader of the pack. Keith Rocco sets in second. Quickest lap just clicked off by Chase Dowling, 18.403. Car number 9, the S&S paving machine. Wicked Power Sports, TAS Country Homes car. Runs in the tire tracks as they come back to the line. Top 3 are single file, but here comes Kopsick. Kopsick is a mover and shaker. He just moved to the front of the class in timing and scoring, 18.346.
Here is Kopsick trying to move into the top 4 against Jeff Gallup, and he is going to blister his way into the number 4 spot. Remember, the top 4 get handicapped, and the top 5 qualify for the big show.
There is 10 laps in distance as they head down the back straightaway. Leader of the pack still remains Craig Lutz. This time, 2 flags crossed in the air, halfway down and halfway to go. Dowling dives to the bottom, turn number 1, to the inside of Keith Rocco. They come off the turn. This is a rivalry you'll see later in the SK Modified division, but it appears that Rocco has a little more giddy up. But it appears that Dowling might have the advantage to the inside, pitches the car off and settles back in the third.
Well, Rocco did a good job of holding off Dowling coming out of turn number 4. It is Kopsick in the number 4 position. So far, Goodale has only passed 1 car, and he has having a very difficult time getting by Brett Meservey in the 45.
Who's going to be the big gainer in this one in the plus or minus systems, Matt, as we work our magic. Remember, 5 is the magic number, 4 is the handicap. And currently, sitting in that 4th spot, doing a great job is Stephen Kopsick.
And Kopsick started 8th, so he has picked up 4 positions since the start of the race. Now Etheridge is ganging up on Gallup, so is Meservey. Squeeze play, and Gallup is able to survive it.
And that's the battle for the crucial 5th position. White flag is out. No surrendering in this one. Off the turn, Meservey gets a little bit loose. Goodale trying to pick up a spot. Oh, trouble now. Gallup goes around. And Etheridge is involved.
Meservey also in the middle of it.
And there is the yellow, and it is a yellow checker situation. So it will look like this. Unofficially, Craig Lutz will take down the win. Keith Rocco will finish in second. Chase Dowling will finish in third. 4th handicap position, Stephen Kopsick. Then in the 5th and final transfer spot will be Eric Goodale with car number 58. Then just out of the transfer will be Earl Paulus with the number 8 to finish in the 6th spot. David Etheridge to finish in 7th. Jeff Gallup to finish in 8th. And Brett Meservey to finish in 9th. In our plus or minus category, Matt is doing the mathematics here at Broadcast Central. But while he's doing that, I'm going to quickly head to Kyle Rickey for a moment to get his input on what he might have seen that took place up there in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, a couple of cars cut together coming to the war just after the white flag into turn number 1. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage. Hopefully they're able to continue and at least make the consolation event here later on this evening. And they're going to have some time. There's a couple of features that will be run before their consolation event. So they'll have time to work on those cars, get them prepared for the 81 lap feature here coming up in a little bit.
Well, Matt has done his mathematics, and Matt, what do we have in the plus or minus system? This is the same system they use in USAC racing as well. Matt?
Okay, the winner was Lutz. Started on a pole, gets 100 points.
Yep.
Keith Rocco started third, finished second. He gets 98 points. Now, Chase Dowling started sixth, finished third. He gets 101 points. And Stephen Kopchik started eighth, finished in fourth. He gets 99 points. So the big winner was Dowling with 101. That becomes a score to beat. Lutz with 100, Kopchik with 99, and Rocco with 98. And the fifth place car also qualifies. That was Eric Goodale, but he will have to start 17th.
So there's how it kind of works and comes into play. So the plot will thicken, the twists and turns will come down. So mathematically, after one qualifying heat, Chase Dowling in the S&S Asphalt Paving Machine, the Richards Construction, Wicked Power Sports, TAS Holmes car, will have the top score out of that one. But I'm not so sure that's going to stand, Matt,
well,
to be very honest with you.
The most you can get, if you finish eighth and if you start eighth and finish first, you can get 135 points.
Yeah.
If you start seventh and finish first, you can get 130. So that 101 by Dowling, it looks good now, but it might not stand these other three heats.
Well, there, tragically, we're looking at our monitor, and there is the number 4 of Richie Gallup, the owner of the car, and Jeff Gallup, the driver of the car, the Ceravella Auto Sales Machine, on the back of the hook. They got off to a real tough start in the tri-track race in Monadnock. They had some problems with their race car and unfortunately did not make the show. No fault of their own, some mechanical woes. And Richie Gallup was one of the original great drivers in the SK Modifieds here at Stafford at the old Riverside Park Speedway. He is the dad of Jeff Gallup, and, he's been around this sport for a very long time and a good guy.
Remember, he came out of nowhere. I believe it was 1990 in the Wheeler Modified Tour, Labor Day weekend at Riverside. Nobody listed him among the top 20 favorites, and he was able to dominate that race. So Richie Gallup, I think, was one of the underrated drivers in New England history, as a lot of speedy dry down. So we have to get that cleared up before we bring out the drivers in the second heat. In the SK Modifieds tonight, Mike Christopher Jr. going for 2 in a row. Remember,
yes, he is, and he was very fast in practice, Matt.
Yeah, remember at the end of the 2018 season, he won 3 in a row. So he has gone on winning streaks before. One of the guys who was good in practice again tonight, finishing third, and one of the elder statesmen of the SK Modifieds, Tommy Bowles. And it would be nice to see if Tommy Bowles could get a top 5 or a top 10 tonight, because that car that he's driving has some giddy-up.
It certainly does, and he's been around the sport for a very long time.
Like forever.
Yes, and Kyle Rickey has been out and about, as we said before. And here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, we have web hits, and those web hits are done by Nicole LaRose and a whole bunch of special people that work behind the scenes here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Kyle Rickey, let's talk a little bit about how people can even find out more of what's going on backstage here at Stafford.
Yeah, find us on Facebook. A lot of great videos from earlier today and our pre-race coverage from the pit area, as we were able to catch up with a lot of the drivers, including the most recent winner in the SK Modifieds. You mentioned Mike Christopher Jr., becoming the third different winner in 3 races here in 2021. That's how competitive the Modifieds have been, the SK Modifieds. Tyler Hines, Stephen Kopsik, the other 2 winners. Hard to believe we're a month into the season, and names like Ronnie Williams and Keith Rocco and Todd Owen have yet to claim a win. So we could easily go 4 for 4 later tonight in the SK Modified feature event. Tyler Hines, maybe the biggest surprise, most consistent, 16-point lead over Todd Owen after the first 3 weeks. It looks like, Ben, we are set to go for qualifying race number 2 for the Tour-type Modifieds.
Now, you might think you're seeing double, but it is not a double. This is the 9 Massachusetts. It looks identical to the 9 Connecticut. This is car number 9, Massachusetts. And the man behind the wheel, we welcome him back, is Tom Abley Jr., driving the Stephen Sontag Moe's Moving Company machine out of Norwich, Connecticut.
Then it will be Brett the Jet in car number 87 from Vernon. In the Tri-State contracting car, Brett Gagne.
Call Before You Dig brings us car number 25 with another talent behind the wheel of Gary Casellas and Mully's machine from Plymouth, Connecticut. Would you welcome Joey Cipriano?
Car number 83 is next. Had a great career in the Valente Tour. In the Spirit of Alaska Wilderness Adventures car from Grantham, New Hampshire, Mike Willis Jr.
Wicked Power Sports brings us the Cooker Construction number 81 from Somers, Connecticut for Todd Owen.
Then it will be the Sultan Stafford. Remember, he struggled earlier today from Bellingham. He is in the Axis Engineering car, Woody Pitcat.
Car number 31, one of 2 31s. This is Noah Corner in the Mid-State Site Development machine from Canton, Connecticut, starting back in the 7th position.
And then it will be the winner of the Spring Sizzler from Orchard Park, New York, in the Superior refinishing car, number 1, driven by Patrick Emmerling. And by starting 8th, he has a chance, if he can pass some cars, to get a good starting position.
He certainly can. So it's not the situation with a draw where you want to start up front. Oh, right there on the start, Brett Gagne's car got sideways, and that gave the opening to Joey Cipriano.
It's even worse now as it clobbers the wall.
Something might have snapped and let go on Brett the Jet Gagne's machine. This is a group of hardworking guys that are like the guys next door, to be very honest with you, and they have worked so hard. They got the engine for this race car on Thursday, late in the day, and weren't even sure they were going to be able to make it here to the Stafford Motor Speedway. You know, you look down this lineup, and what makes these shows here at Stafford for the Call Before You Dig presentation so unique and special, it is a hodgepodge of champions from all of the Tour-type modified divisions. For example, we have Mike Willis Jr., former champion of the Valente Modified Racing Series. We have, in addition to that, Woody Pitcat, former champion, and the Sultan of Stafford as well. Patrick Emmerling, whose really claim to fame started at Bristol, Matt. Remember that day that he won on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, and from then on, the confidence builder was up for him.
Yeah, and he won the Race of Champions
Yes, he
Tour
did.
last year. We just caught a replay of Brett Gagne, and we were going to see another one.
Now, he had a problem right here initially. As he goes to put the car in gear, the back snaps around. It literally bounces off the 25. Then it looks like he's got it saved. He's okay. Now, watch what happens when he goes into turn 1. Whatever was wrong with that car, all of a sudden, and it was a mechanical problem, either the brakes locked up or something in the front suspension of the car locked, because he had nowhere to go and could not turn right or left whatsoever. So,
he was on automatic pilot,
yep.
and it took him into the concrete.
Now, Brett has been out of the scene for a little while. The reason is he started his own business. We used to call him the Leprechaun, besides Brett the Jet, and he started his own business, which has become very successful. But he has been here each and every week because he works with Keith Rocco, and he works with that group and the rentals that Keith puts on the racetrack itself. Now, let's go back to Kyle Rickey and see if he has any input, as they're working very feverishly. Not a good way to start a double hook. Kyle, we don't like to see that ever.
I think you guys hit the nail on the head with a look at the FloRacing replay a moment ago. Something broke. The car got sideways off turn 4 coming green. Never even attempted to turn going into turn number 1, and thankfully there is a safer wall up there in turn number 1. Stafford, one of the very first short tracks that have not hosted a National Series event in motorsports, that they put that wall in many, many years ago, and hopefully that minimized the damage to Brett's car. But still, either way, whether it's a safer wall or a concrete wall, still a very hard hit. And as you mentioned, looks like it might be a double hooker for Brett the Jet, a 2-time SK Light winner here at the Stafford Speedway over the years.
You know, Kyle, we've had the opportunity to just take a look at it again, me and Matt Buckler. And it really looks just the way that we said, Matt. He came off the turn, something snapped, maybe he hadn't cleared it off exactly, but when he got hard on the binders, we're looking at a replay of it again. The 9 on the inside, Tom Aberle Jr., he gets off to a good start. Cipriano becomes the ball in the pinball machine.
The backboard.
Yep, and then all of a sudden, it looks like Brett the Jet has things under control, and then when he goes to get on the binders, they lock up, and he ends up coming up and hitting with the right front suspension. So a tough break for him.
And he actually hit the guardrail, so you see the double hook dragging him off the track. And there is a team that what they lack for in finances, they make up for in hard work.
I agree.
I think of the old school where after work the guys get together, a bunch of guys who went to Cheney Tech in Manchester, many of them.
Yes, right.
And they work on that number 87 car. And Brett has had his moments. Remember, he started, the 2018 season with a win at every track he visited.
Now, there's what looks to might have been the problem. We were seeing it on our FloRacing monitor here in Broadcast Central. The rear strut on the right rear is hanging down, and that's what might have let go. The Heim or something might have pulled away, and that set the rear steer set up, and then when he got on the binders, it ended up that the brakes locked up, and now the field is being told to cross over. From our starters stand, Brian Callum, Mike Helberg, highly respected, Scott Tapley at race control, along with Tommy Fox and Chris Gambado. They double them up. Lights are off from Wheelan Engineering. First name in lights, sirens, and safety services used throughout the world.
You know, that's not only a tough break for Gagne, it's a tough break for the guys that are deeper in the field, because now it looks like there could be one less car for them to pass.
You're exactly right, and there's no laps complete in this because that happened as the field just took the green. Callum gives him the green, and Tom Aberle with enough giddy up, but here comes Cipriano, high, wide, and handsome. The red rocket sled moves to the outside, and who is the tail that wags the dog there? It's the wicked power sports machine of Todd Owen, looking racy, and Owen now moves into second.
Aberle has dropped to third as Joey Zip Drive has taken over the top spot. There's a scramble in the middle of the pack.
Here comes
and Mike Willis survives it. And following him to the front is Patrick Emmerling in the black number 1.
Now, Emmerling could be the guy that picks up the most positions in this event with that number 1 car. He works his magic. Now Emmerling is into the 4th spot, setting back in 5. Good enough to qualify, but not good enough for one of those preferred starting spots. 3 wide.
Woody Pitcat starting to move.
Yep, and it is Pitcat who picks up the spot. And all of a sudden, as they head down the back straightaway, Patrick Emmerling quickly reels in, moves into the outside, and Matt, that's where the challenge is.
So we'll see if he can make further inroads, as right now it's Emmerling in front of him and Mike Willis. The leader is Joey Cipriano, who started third, and he has an opportunity to pick up 110 points and move to the front of the leaderboard.
And he certainly looks very strong and racy. Meanwhile, Willis now tries to get down underneath to try to pick up the 3rd spot. He wants a little bit of a cushion. Can't do it. Now Woody Pitcat come to life. His problems apparently are over. Remember, he was a big dog last year in this event. Now, they work their magic, and Pitcat muscles his way down underneath Willis. Pitcat moves into the 4th spot. That's going to help him in the plus or minus situation as they come rumbling off turn number 4. Back to the line. Leader is still Joey Cipriano. Owen is still in second. And Matt, the hot spot is for 3rd, and Woody Pitcat is looking like days of old. Car number 6 is back and alive and well.
And he likes to squeeze his way underneath. Let's see what happens. Here he comes. Emmerling trying to hold his turf, but Pitcat is knocking on the door as Pitcat off of turn number 2. Does he have some momentum? It looks like Emmerling is doing a masterful job of holding him off.
certainly is, but the question is for how long. Watch this bottom shot move. Oh, trouble now. Car number 31, Noah Corner. Spins around to the upper side of the racetrack, and that's going to bring out the caution. Kind of, well, a different scenario of what we saw in the last qualifying round. And Noah Corner previously was, well, close to being one away from a transfer position. If you just joined us, this is round number 2 in the Call Before You Dig Open Modified 81 with additional bonus monies added by GAF, $1,000 to the winner, and New England Racing Fuels providing us with an additional $500, making first place in the Call Before You Dig Open Tour Type Modified event, paying $5,000.
Now let's take another look at it.
Now watch Woody Pitcat here. He has got a car. That is the number 6 car. You're seeing it on your screen. Now he goes to the inside, but look a little further back, and Noah Corner's car just snapped around on him, I think, Matt. There.
And Noah Corner doing double duty tonight. He'll
Yes,
also
he
be
is.
competing in the SK Modifieds.
We've got a lot of competitors doing the double dip for tonight.
You know, you talked about drivers who come from all walks of life and former champions. Noah Corner was a champion here in the Legends. We take a look at the right of your screen as we see Corner. He is straight when he got to the Sunoco sign.
And then all of a sudden the back end just starts to snap around on him.
Schizophrenia. The back end wanted to become the front end, and that
Not
was the
necessarily
headache.
his fault. It just came around on him, so kind of a heartbreaker there.
It didn't look like any contact that we could see on our monitor. So
Here we
Corner
go.
is at the rear of the field, and at the front is Joey Cipriano.
Green flag is back out. Todd Owen is up on the wheel, but Joey Cipriano is the band leader. He's trying to shake off Patrick Emmerling. Owen tests the waters on the high side. Smooch to the back bumper. No room at the end this time. Checkered flag is out. Joey Cipriano will take down the win. Todd Owen will finish in second. Patrick Emmerling might be the big mover and shaker. Woody Pitcat will be in the third position. Fourth and final handicap spot goes to Woody Pitcat. Car number 6 and 5th car to transfer will be the 83 of Mike Willis Jr. That will bump out Tom Aberle Jr., Noah Corner, and Brett Gagne. So there you have it. Now Matt Buckler is working feverishly. Let's go back to Kyle Rickey with more.
Yeah, you mentioned Noah Corner a moment ago. Struggled there a little bit in that heat race with the spin in turn number 1. You mentioned on Facebook earlier today we were able to catch up with Noah and talk with him about his recent success in the SK Modified. Got his first career top 5 finish 2 weeks ago. Backed it up last week with a 7th and has quickly learned the best way to be consistent like that is to finish those races, dodge the early crash that we sometimes often see, and also doesn't have a whole lot of help in trying to get those 2 cars prepared for their feature events later tonight. So check that out on the Stafford Speedway Facebook page.
Well, the Baldwin Motorsports car will be starting at the point from Walcott, Connecticut, and this driver is sizzling hot. After a win last Friday night, the 7 New York, driven by Michael Christopher Jr.
Then it will be car number 1, North Carolina. And we'd like to welcome back to Stafford, Burt Myers in the Citrus Safe Cleaners car.
Island Cove Marina brings us car number 76, brand new race car from Farmington, Connecticut for Dana DiMatteo.
And here's a man, we see him on TV every weekend in the 6 New York from Kannapolis, North Carolina. But basically, he's still from Berwyn. We'll have to give that town a plug. In the Call Before You Dig sponsored car, here is Ryan Preece.
AAA Consulting brings us car number 3 out of Moodus, Connecticut, one of our own here at Stafford, Matty Galco.
Then a former Valente champion will be in car number 92. That is Anthony Nacella from Berwyn in the Tech Mike car.
The birthday boy will start next in the Michael Davini machine, the Extreme Auto Body and Collision Centered car from Troy, New Hampshire, Trevor Blue.
Then it will be McLean Woodworking, car number 4, Dylan Izzo.
Green flag is out to the bottom of turn number 1. Inside lane looks racy. Michael Christopher steps on the gas like a rabbit shot out of a gun. He moves out in front, and here comes the number 1 of Burt Myers, the pride of Southern Racing. looks good in second, but then Ryan Priest tried to pull that bottom shot move.
Well, Burt Myers hit the Tundra coming out of turn number 2, so he is getting reacquainted with Stafford. He got by T.J. Blow.
Keep your eyes on the driver they call the Ant, Anthony Nacella, with that number 92 machine. He was among the quickest cars in practice. He's moved up to the 5th spot. But Priest is all over the Southern counterpart in this event, and that's Burt Myers now.
Yeah, he is surrounding that number 1 car. A guy making some moves deeper in the field is Matt Galco, as Galco is on the inside trying to move up to the top 4.
TJ Blue is right there with him. They kick a little dirt up in TJ Blue's face. He puts the nose right back in there. 4 cars contending for the same airspace, and it happens to be a crucial one because 5 and only 5 will move to the main event.
And right now, it is a great run for Mike Christopher Jr. The best battle is between Nacella and Galco, a little deeper in the field. Remember, Nacella has the final qualifying position, and Galco desperately wants it to avoid the consolation race.
Galco, family-owned operation, car number 3, black neon numerals car. Taps to the back bumper of Anthony Nacella, another family-owned race team. They're battling for that final transfer position, and it is not over with by any stretch of the imagination.
Dana DiMatteo, very optimistic. New car, currently in 4th. Now Galco goes upstairs, trying to wrestle the number 5 spot away from Nacella. He almost hit the wall down the back front straightaway, but Galco is a player, sitting on the lap of Nacella as they go into turn 3.
But it is Nacella who still fights back and takes it back. Twirling 2s are in the air. That means 1 mile left in the competition. Matty Galco gives a smooch again to the back bumper. They look like they're drafting it NHIS, but they're not. It is just good old hard play, short track racing. Here comes Matty Galco. Looks for the room down low. Can't do it. Again, a little bit of contact there. White flag is out. This is the lap that is going to be the crucial one for position number 5. Michael Christopher, hot as ever at the front of the class. Meanwhile, here comes Matty Galco. They come together. Galco tries to keep it going. TJ Blue will squeak in to take down the 5th and final transfer spot.
Izzo slammed the wall hard,
and he
on the front straightaway.
A victim of circumstances. And Matty Galco, what a heartbreaker with the number 3 machine and the number 92. As they came together, Izzo became a victim of circumstances in all of that. So heartbreaking situation there. But the record books will show that Michael Christopher took down the win. Burt Myers will finish in 2nd. Ryan Priest was 3rd. Dana DiMatteo to finish in 4th. And what a good job. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you got there. It is the number 4 for TJ Blue. The Michael Davini car, the Extreme Auto Body car, will take down the transfer spot. Matty Galco, Anthony Nacella, and Izzo, unfortunately, will have to do it in the consolation event. Matt, what have you got?
Okay, with 1 race left, heat race left, the leader, Patrick Emmerling, 111 points, Joey Cipriano, 110 points, and Todd Owen, 108 points. So we'll see what happens in heat race number 4. But right now, Patrick Emmerling has a great opportunity to start on the pole, and Joey Cipriano on the outside pole.
So very sadly, unfortunately, we have 2 cars that have some damage. The independent guys that compete in the competition. Want to remind you, if you haven't had the chance, Matty, the Call Before You Dig booth has some T-shirts. We're not sure if there's any of them available, but if you would like, head on down there and get more information about our sponsors for tonight's event.
Do they have XXX?
I think they do, Matty.
Okay,
and look at the heartbreaker in this one. He really was
we saw
in the wrong
replay
place at the wrong time.
And Dylan Izzo hit the wall hard.
Yep.
So that car was fractured up against the front straightaway wall. And Dylan Izzo is a type of driver very seldom gets into trouble.
And it was not. We'll hope they'll give us another shot of this in the replays.
Matty Ice being dragged off. Matt Galco.
And Matty was going for that final transfer position.
It was a great battle between and Nacella.
Yep, and they went at it tooth and nail. There's no question about that. And it just didn't work for any of those three as they got to go back to the paddock area in preparation. Here's another look at it on FloRacing. And there is Matt Galco going to the inside of Nocella. He has two wheels down on the grass. Nocella's trying to keep him low. They come together, and when they do, contact is made. Galco gets away. Somehow TJ Ballou is unscathed, but for Dylan Izzo, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, Matt. There's no question.
Yeah, and the wrong time was he just flew over the Galco car and needs a double hook to get him off of the track. And the Great Escape, the Houdini Award, I think has to go to TJ Blau. Got a birthday present. Went between Galco and the wall, and he'll wind up in the big dance. Remember, the last time he was here at an open show, he did not make the feature.
There's another look at it again. You see Galco two wheels down on the bottom. Nacella trying to keep him there on the bottom. They come together. Galco rides up over the front, gets away, looks good, and then all of a sudden, TJ Ballou gets by, but Dylan Izzo is not as lucky. Fourth and final qualifying round, and Ronnie Williams, our champion here at Stafford of Champions, the Empower Financial Advisory, Candy Williams, Adam Scavora, prepared car from Ellington, Connecticut, will be starting at the point, car number 50.
Wheeler's Auto Service brings us car number 48 from North Haven. He has an open win under his belt, Marcello Ruffrano.
Then we go to the Mayberry Material Handling Machine. The Cam McDermott prepared and owned car from Canterbury, Connecticut, car number 8 for Cam McDermott.
Jarvis Brothers Roofing is a sponsor of car number 33, owned by Keith Rocco. The driver is Michael Jarvis Jr.
Peerless Boilers brings us car number 84 from Holtzville, New York. It is J.B. Fortin.
Then it will be car number 75 from Musa in the Dolly Collision and Custom car. Here is Chris Pastriak.
Fowler's Auto Wrecking brings us to 25 Connecticut for Anthony Flannery out of East Hampton, Connecticut.
Then it will be the 31 Connecticut, Andrew Sharon from Southwold, New York now, in the DM Sharon and Son tri-axle trucking car. So that is our field. The score to beat, 111 points, Patrick Emerling. We'll see if anybody can topple that as we get ready for heat race number 4. Ronnie Williams out in front in the family-owned number 50 car. And he gets off to a strong start, but Marcello Ruffrano is right there with him. And now trying to sneak his nose into the festivities, Craig McDermott, one of the most underrated drivers in New England.
Well, Cam looks racy. He can not only drive a race car, he can spot for a driver. They're 3 wide coming off the turn. Marcello Ruffrano in the Wheelers Automotive Machine. Remember, he was a big dog and won one of these events last year. He's looking to do the same. His dad told me that they are ready. They've got the guns loaded, and it's showing as he moves into second. Pastriak now moves up to the top 5. 5 is where you want to be. And J.B. Fortin sets in the 6th spot. Much tighter pack of cars. This time, nose to tail as they work their magic and come back to the line. Ronnie Williams clicked off the fastest lap, 18.583.
Jarvis has the final handicapping spot. Chris Pastriak has the final qualifying spot. But the best battle for second and third between Ruffrano and McDermott. McDermott trying to crowbar his way underneath Ruffrano.
They come off turn number 4, pretty good this time. McDermott's got that Mayberry machine looking racy in the 3rd spot. Marcello Ruffrano steps on the gas. Williams, like he hit the ignition switch, he just explodes and pulls away by 2 car lengths. Halfway down and halfway to go.
It looks like Williams can go as fast as he wants to.
Sure does.
When he needs that little extra giddy up, he has it. trying to make a move down low. Anthony Flannery in car number 25. Pastriak on a mission, trying to get underneath Jarvis to get some points in a handicapping position. But right now, the drum major of the parade is Ronnie Williams.
There's no question about it. Watch Williams come off the turn. When he wants to string it out, Marcello Rufano is a noted component in this two-car battle up front, making it a three-car battle, because here comes McDermott again. Squeaks to the inside, can't do it, pulls back into the line. The Screaming Yellow Machine looks racy in the third spot, while Rufano still holds on to the runner-up spot. Twirling twos are in the air. 1 mile left in the competition. Here comes McDermott, Matt. Can't do it this time.
As McDermott started in third, so he will not really gain any points. And Jarvis started fourth. He will not be a big gainer. Here comes Ronnie Williams as he scampers around the corner. And Williams, we don't know how fast he has been, because he looks like he gets what he needs. If he needs a little bit of extra oomph, he finds it.
He sure does, and of course, it's come down to this. 4 cars will move into the big dance. The 5th car will make it, but he will not be in a preferred starting spot. Checkered flag is out. Ronnie Williams made it look so easy. Marcello Rufano will finish in the 2nd spot. Great run for Cam McDermott in 3rd. Michael Jervis in the 4th spot. And the 5th position is Chris Pastriak. And then we have 3 cars, J.B. Fortin, Anthony Flannery, and Andrew Sharon, that will come out in the consolation.
And unofficially, it will be Patrick Emmerling on the pole and Joey Cipriano on the outside pole, and Todd Owen will be running on the inside of the 2nd row.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are excited to have you on board for tonight's presentation. Don't forget, next Friday night, Stafford's 5 weekly series divisions will be on tap for the presentation, and we certainly want to see you here. Remember, tickets go on sale tomorrow. General admission tickets are $25, and pit passes are $35. All of that is available online by going to the website at staffordspeedway.com. Please remember, the main grandstand area is a non-smoking grandstand. You're not permitted to be smoking in the main grandstand. There are several other locations, but the main grandstand is